This is ABC7 News at 11, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilkes. Thank you for joining us tonight. Our top story this evening, the verdict is in and a parole board has decided to grant O.J. Simpson an early release from a medium security prison. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez is outside of Lovelock Correctional Center in Nevada with more on this decision.
O.J. Simpson soon to be a free man.
Mr. Simpson, I do vote to grant parole.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
The 70-year-old dressed in prison blues pleading to the board after serving 9 years of his 33-year sentence here at Lovelock Correctional Center.
Done my time. I'd just like to get back to my family and friends.
Contributing to the board's decision, testimony from one of the men Simpson is convicted of robbing in 2007 in this Las Vegas casino. And what the NFL Hall of Famer maintains was an attempt to reclaim some of his personal memorabilia.
It's time for him to go home to his family, his friends. This is a good man. He made a mistake.
The board receiving hundreds of letters, many asking them to factor in the 1994 murder of Simpson's ex-wife Nicole Brown and her friend Ron Goldman, for which Simpson was infamously acquitted.
These items will not be considered in this case.
Thank you.
But board members did consider Simpson's age, his perfect record as a prisoner, and his testimony.
I'm sorry it happened. I'm sorry to Nevada.
In making their unanimous decision. And Simpson told the board he plans to move to Florida when he's released from this prison. The soonest that could happen is October 1st. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Lovelock, Nevada.
An update now following a domestic disturbance at a Northport home. One person has been arrested after police were called to a home on Needle Terrace when an argument turned violent between a father, mother, and son last night. The father was injured and taken to the hospital for treatment, while the 24-year-old son locked himself inside the home, refusing to come out until this evening when he emerged waving a white t-shirt. He was arrested. Roads surrounding the home were temporarily closed. They are now back open. In an effort to keep intoxicated drivers off of Suncoast roadways, the Florida Highway Patrol will be increasing patrols over this weekend. Focusing on I-75 and major state and county roadways, the increased patrols will take place between 9 p.m. on Saturday night and run through 5 a.m. Sunday morning in Sarasota and Manatee counties. Florida law considers a driver with 0.08 or higher blood alcohol content to be impaired. And remember, if you see an aggressive driver on the roadway or suspect that a nearby driver may be under the influence, you can contact the Florida Highway Patrol from your cell phone at Star FHP, which is 347. And now we're going to head over to Steve, who's in for Bob tonight with a check on a pretty nice night out there.
Pretty nice, but kind of a stormy day if you happen to be underneath these thunderstorms that popped up in the moist, unstable air across the Sun Coast. And a lot of them have died down, but perhaps some might pop up in the overnight hours. You might hear a clap of thunder before you want to wake up. Right along the coast now, these are some storms we had around Parrish and Duet around 7, 8 o'clock. They have diminished. So it's pretty much clear sailing, but the forecast model from our high-resolution rapid refresh model, which runs every hour, shows maybe something could happen overnight. I don't know. Sometimes this is overblown, but just keep in mind we could have some thunderstorms develop in the overnight hours, but we definitely will have them develop tomorrow afternoon. Here's our temperature forecast through the overnight. Cooling off very slowly to 76, a low around dawn, and the chance of precipitation from this RPM model doesn't seem to be as aggressive, but maybe at 7 a.m. a 30% chance, but then it's going to climb tomorrow late morning and afternoon. We have not much going on in the tropics. That's a good thing, but we have some severe weather nationwide. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. Haley?
Thank you, Steve. Following a tip about alleged neglect and misconduct, a Bradenton daycare has been forced to close its doors. The No Limits Learning Academy director, Joanne Erickson, and 2 other employees are the subject of a Sheriff's Department and Florida Department of Children and Families investigation. Erickson receiving a no-contact order during the process, denying her access to children at the daycare for up to 90 days. Since January, the DCF has inspected the daycare center 4 times. None of the concerns met the standards of a criminal investigation, and the sheriff's office is being pretty tight-lipped about the case.
There are a lot of allegations here, and we don't really want to go into any specifics. There was one child that was mentioned, and it kind of spread to possibly other children. So, you know, it's just right now very, very delicate part of the investigation. We have interviewed numerous people, including children, and employees of that daycare center. And that's kind of where we are right now.
Erickson and her husband at the adjacent Church Without Limits were not willing to comment on the investigation, the organization receiving positive feedback on its social media platforms. With a new proposal, plans for the controversial Siesta Promenade have been scaled back after members of the community voiced their concerns over the development planned for the busy US 41 and Stickney Point Road intersection. The developers listened. The latest proposal includes fewer apartments, condos, and hotel rooms, also shorter buildings. While neighbors are happy about that, they're still concerned about how the Siesta Promenade could change this quiet Pine Shores neighborhood. The county is now in the process of reviewing the final application. Then 2 more public hearings will be scheduled, one in front of the Planning Commission and one in front of county commissioners. Benderson Development hopes to break ground within the next year. When you think of Venice, young professionals looking to start a global business would not be your very first thought. However, that's exactly what one Venice entrepreneur is doing with an invention that is already getting the attention of Hollywood. Sean Chan has designed this Uno Bolt. That's what this contraption is called. It is powered by a lithium-ion battery. It can get up to about 20 miles an hour. The second prototype has already been made, and it has made it to the loftiest of Hollywood heights, being purchased by director James Cameron to possibly make a debut in a film next year. If you would like to try out the Uno Bolt for yourself, they will be available in just a few weeks. One canine who has had a lengthy stay at Manatee County Animal Services in Palmetto has now found her forever home, but it's far away, and it took many people a lot of effort to make this adoption happen. ABC7's Rick Adams is joining us live from Animal Services with more. Rick.
Yeah, Haley, one of the dogs here has a new home sweet home, and that home is 1,800 miles away. Mia, a beautiful 3-year-old caramel-colored terrier lab mix, has every reason to be excited. She's taking a long journey from Manatee County Animal Services in Palmetto to her new home in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
I am so excited. I can't even tell you how excited and overwhelmed with joy, and it's such a blessing. Every dog is a blessing when we find it a home.
The family who adopted Mia used to live in St. Petersburg before moving to New Mexico. They found out about her after seeing a picture of her taken by Reno, a Manatee County Animal Services volunteer photographer. Mia had been with Animal Services for more than a year.
We are so excited here at Manatee County Animal Services because, you know, this is just hopefully the first success story we can have for finding animals homes and perhaps other areas.
On Friday, Mia will be taken to Tallahassee, where she'll meet up with the Animal Transport Service, who will take her to her new 3-acre home in New Mexico.
As always, it takes a village to get one dog adopted. So everybody came together for this, and, you know, we put out a GoFundMe, and, you know, within an hour we had enough money raised to get her this transport for her.
There's even better news with all this. After hearing about Mia's story, the transport service company waived their transport fee. So now the money raised through the GoFundMe page will go towards food and fun toys to keep Mia occupied on her trip. And if you are interested in adopting an animal, you can call or stop by Manatee County Animal Services here. And I'm reporting live this evening from Palmetto. My name is Rick Adams. Haley, back to you.
Thank you, Rick. If you do want to adopt, it is a great experience. Just make sure your home and your family, they're all on board. Well, straight ahead, Steve Newman will be back with the official Suncoast forecast. Plus, Attorney General Jeff Sessions responds to intense criticism by President Trump following his move to recuse himself from the Russia investigations. And Arizona Senator John McCain is speaking out following his brain cancer diagnosis.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's at FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School, serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Detoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Ray Collins. It's that time of year, Friday Fest at the Van Wezel.
We hope you can join Ray and I tomorrow afternoon as we co-host the outdoor concert on the Bayfront. More details tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
We'll watch the weekend weather kind of transition, perhaps a few less showers around. We'll talk about that bright and early.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you. The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC7. We're here for you.
Steve, we are just loving these sunsets every night, one after the next, just beautiful.
This is so typical. We're right on the money for highs and lows every day, what we should be. These storms are where we should get this time of year. So this is what you get in the middle and late July across the Suncoast. Looking out from the Van Wezel camera over Sarasota Bay, a lot of boats out there today. I hope you got to enjoy some time out in the sun on the beach or just golfing, whatever you can do during the summer here. And look at these castles in the sky out over the Gulf of Mexico. Those cumulus beginning to die down as the heat of the day goes away. Right now at Sarasota Bradenton International Airport, the temperature is 79 degrees. The dew point, a moist 75, with the east wind at 5, virtually calm for the most part. That's what I'm talking about, the highs and lows. Look at this, 90, that's right where we should be. Only 1 degree warmer than normal for last night's low. And there are your records for the state in history. Across the state, pretty typical too. 90 is a good number for the average high statewide, except up in the Panhandle, where they have stronger high pressure with compressing air coming in from aloft that made them a little bit warmer today. And also across our viewing area, temperature is pretty close to 90. 92 at Lake Placid and Sebring were the hot spots in the area. Now, the storms that we've been getting every day that kind of form offshore before dawn and kind of creep in, they get pulled in by the heat of the land that creates lower pressure and pulls in that sea breeze, and the same thing on a limited basis on the Atlantic coast. So these two air masses collide in the middle, create the storms, and then outflow boundaries create other storms in the afternoon and evening. But by this time of night, things have generally calmed down, and you can see that's what has happened again tonight. Boy, is it getting hot in the Midwest. Dangerously hot. The dog days of summer heat. Look at this. For tomorrow afternoon, over 100 degrees in this magenta pink area, 102 at Wichita and Omaha, Kansas City, pretty close to 90, even Dallas. 90, the forecast high temperature tomorrow. That's caused by high pressure blanketing the southern states and just squeezing the air down, descending, drying air. We hope this pattern doesn't get locked in, which it can do this time of year. The longer it stays, the harder it is to budge it out of the way and get rain and cooler air. We had some storms around New York City, but they dissipated before they reached Midtown, so no problem there. But we've had a lot of rain in the upper Mississippi Valley, so there are flood watches from Chicago back to almost Minneapolis, and some strong storms across the Dakotas, a couple of severe thunderstorm watches and warnings in effect there. Well, from the middle latitudes to the tropics, and taking a look at our tropical weather outlook, and there's really not much to talk about. These little easterly waves off Africa, been meandering across the Atlantic, but not getting organized. And the National Hurricane Center doesn't believe anything there or in the Caribbean or Gulf of Mexico will become a problem for us within the next several days. So we can kind of kick back and enjoy our midsummer weather, the summer doldrums. Well, this is the current pattern where the showers are on the East Coast moving out, and maybe some will pop up overnight. But then tomorrow, again, a big burst of thunderstorms dying down by this time tomorrow night. And on Saturday, another burst of thunderstorms during the afternoon, evening hours. So you got the picture. It's like clockwork. It's what we've had all week. On the water tomorrow, south winds becoming southwesterly in the afternoon, 5 knots. Seas 2 feet or less. And our water temperature is 88. The forecast beach temperature tomorrow, enjoy, 89. Here's my forecast for tonight. There's a chance we'll have some more thunderstorms popping up and moving over the area. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies with a low of 76 degrees. The average, 75. Again, we're right where we should be. And for tomorrow, hot and humid with a few storms as we've seen for the last 4 or 5 days. And here's your 7-day outlook with a 40, 30, 50, 40% chance right on for the next several days. We are stuck in this pattern, but I don't think a lot of people are complaining. It would be a lot hotter if we didn't get these storms, Haley.
That's true. All right. Thank you, Steve. President Trump blasting his own attorney general, the one who campaigned with him on the trail, Jeff Sessions. ABC's senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega is at the White House tonight with more on this.
After that blistering takedown from President Trump, today at the Justice Department, Jeff Sessions stood his ground, refusing to resign, at least for now. In an interview with the New York Times, the president still fuming over the Attorney General's decision to recuse himself from the Russia investigation.
Therefore, I have recused myself.
Sessions should have never recused himself. And if he was going to recuse himself, he should have told me before he took the job, and I would have picked somebody else. How do you take a job and then recuse yourself? If he would have recused himself before the job, I would have said, thanks, Jeff, but I can't, I'm not going to take you. It's extremely unfair. And that's a mild word to the president.
Harsh words for one of his first and staunchest supporters. Today, putting Sessions in a very tough spot.
We love this job, we love this department, and I plan to continue to do so as long as that is appropriate.
But a very different tone from the White House when asked if the president still has confidence in his attorney general.
Clearly he has confidence in him or he would not be the attorney general.
The president himself ducking questions.
Mr. President, does Jeff Sessions still have your full support?
Thank you, everybody.
Mr. President, you still support the attorney general?
But it is not just Sessions. In that interview, the president also lashed out at the top leaders in the Justice Department, the deputy attorney general and the acting FBI director. And he attacked the man spearheading the Russia investigation, special counsel Robert Mueller, warning Mueller would cross a red line if he probed Trump family finances not tied to Russia.
I think that's a violation. Look, this is about Russia.
But the president stopped short of saying he would fire Mueller if he crosses that red line. So today we asked the White House.
That should not be viewed as a threat, as a warning to what this special counsel should or should not be looking at as it relates to the president's and his family's finances.
The president's making clear that the special counsel should not move outside of the scope of the investigation.
Senator John McCain may be battling brain cancer, but that is not getting him down. The war vet tweeting, "I greatly appreciate the outpouring of support. Unfortunately for my sparring partners in Congress, I'll be back soon, so stand by." We expect nothing less from Senator McCain. He has a brain tumor called glioblastoma. His doctors say the tumor has been removed, but it's the most aggressive type and is likely to return. It's the same type of tumor that killed Ted Kennedy and Joe Biden's son, Beau. The average survival is just 14 months. But we know if anyone can exceed expectations in a fight like that, it is John McCain. A sweet new ride is now available to police officers. Ford revealing the first pickup truck specially designed for police. The Ford F-150 Police Responder is based on Ford's FX4 off-road truck, but it has a few additional features, including extended off-road abilities, police-calibrated brakes that can maintain a speed of up to 100 miles an hour for a long period of time, and plated front seats to protect officers from being stabbed from the back seat. Pretty cool. Sports is next, but first, here's Jimmy Kimmel.
Enjoy this sample of Tonight Show. It's gluten-free. OJ is headed to Naples, Florida next. So, ladies, if you're in the Naples area and you see someone who looks like OJ on Tinder, swipe left. Definitely.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
From meeting curious lemurs to feeding big cats and hosing down rhinos, there's never a dull moment. And sometimes these amazing animals chime in.
Watch Animal Outtakes every week on ABC7.
Now, sports.
Americans dominating the leaderboard after one round of the Open Championship in England, leading the way at 5 under par, Jordan Spieth and U.S. Open champion Brooks Koepka. Spieth making his approach at the 8th hole to go 2 under, getting back-to-back birdies, sinking the putt on 9 to go 3 under and tie for the lead. But he would end up tying with Koepka with 4 under after Koepka's nice approach on the 14th. Chipping on the rough, the ball bounces and then lands on a water hole cover. He rolls in the par putt. Barring a crash or some other type of issue, Chris Froome is set to win his 4th Tour de France. The British rider holding off all challengers in today's final mountain stage. Froome now has a 23-second lead over Frenchman Romain Bardet, which should be enough to ride into Paris with the leader's yellow jersey on Sunday. Some big shoes to fill. Hendricks Motorsports has picked Alex Bowman to be Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s replacement next season. Named NASCAR's most popular driver in each of the last 14 seasons, Earnhardt's number 88 car is one of the most coveted in the Cup Series. Bowman has one big fan already on his side, Junior. After announcing his retirement earlier this year, the 42-year-old Earnhardt tabbed Bowman as his logical successor in May. Great to hear. Hundreds of junior volleyball teams and fans are flocking to the Suncoast today to compete against teams from all around the country on those famous sands of Siesta Key. The USA Volleyball Junior Beach features more than 400 teams composed of boys and girls ages 10 to 18. The top 3 winners of each division earning a spot to play in this championship.
I love it here. It's always beautiful, especially during the spring. It's kind of interesting playing in the summer. It's a lot hot.
One of the teams on our court is actually from New Mexico. The girls next to us were from Colorado. So it's really cool to see people coming from all over to compete against and just talk with like friends.
Much hotter here than Colorado, but Siesta Key is one of 90 stops that the domestic tour makes. It wraps up next Tuesday. General admission to the tournament and parking, they're all free. So go check it out. Sports, that's a look at sports. We'll have our lotto numbers right after this.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the blingiest of them all? You are, with Spectralite diamonds, all gorgeous and affordable. Only found at Creative Gems, where you always get big bling for little ching.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential. There's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Start your day with a new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
Don't hate me because I'm blingable. Get your bling on with affordable Spectralite diamonds exclusively at Creative Gems in gold and silver, where you always get big bling for little ching.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Years after his death, forensic experts have successfully removed biological samples from artist Salvador Dali. Dali died in 1989 and was buried in Spain. Last month, a Madrid judge ruled that the artist's remains should be exhumed to settle a paternity lawsuit brought by Pilar Abel, a 61-year-old tarot card reader. Today, technicians retrieved Dali's DNA from his tomb. The samples will now travel to a forensic lab in Madrid, where an analysis could take weeks. A bag containing traces of moon dust has sold at auction in New York City for $1.8 million. The collection bag was used by astronaut Neil Armstrong during the first manned mission to the moon in 1969. The artifact was misidentified and was actually sold at an online government auction. NASA fought to get it back, but in December, a federal judge ruled that it legally belonged to a Chicago area woman who bought it in 2015 for only $995. The buyer has not been identified.
Wow.
It's a very confusing. I was reading up on this legal battle that went back and forth to say who owned it. NASA really wanted it, but they said, no, you don't legally own it. So.
And that moon landing was exactly 48 years ago tonight at this
Incredible.
hour. They were walking at 11:30 Eastern Daylight Time.
And you were broadcasting it on the radio.
My first radio newscast was 48 years ago tonight.
And that's a memorable one.
Let's take a quick look at an overnight forecast with a lot of storms possibly forming in the overnight hours, but I think tomorrow we're going to see a repeat of today.
All right. Hope you enjoy your evening, what's left of it, and we'll see you tomorrow.